At Cornerstone Financial Solutions, our mission is about so much more than managing wealth. It's about empowering you to pursue your greatest dreams, enjoy life's good times, and make the impact you're truly capable of making. That's why we kick things off tonight with Celebration, a song that embodies the joy and purpose we hope to inspire in your financial journey. We call this the Cornerstone Commitment, and it's the foundation of everything we do. Putting your needs first with client-first practices that ensure every decision is made with your best interests at heart. Helping you navigate life's complexities by simplifying the complex so you can focus on what truly matters. Building extraordinary relationships that go beyond financial planning and creating a partnership you can count on. Delivering lasting value, empowering you to achieve your greatest dreams, and leave a meaningful legacy. As a team, we hold ourselves to the same high standards we set for your financial future. Every day, we strive to become 1% better in our knowledge, our processes, and our commitment to serving you. Helping you achieve the extraordinary is what drives our philosophy of continuous improvement. Tonight, let's celebrate not only where you are today, but also the incredible possibilities ahead.
At Cornerstone Financial Solutions, we often speak about our dedication to extraordinary relationships and our mission to empower clients to pursue greater dreams. But what does that look like from behind the scenes? As the Chief Operating Officer, I have the privilege of ensuring that our commitment to putting clients first is embedded in every aspect of our operations, from the processes we follow to the systems we implement. Our goal is simple: to make your experience as seamless, personalized, and impactful as possible. I want to take a moment to pull back the curtain and share how our internal efforts drive the exceptional experience you receive at Cornerstone. We recognize that the financial world can be complex, and our job is to simplify that for you. Behind every interaction is a well-coordinated process designed to make things as easy and efficient as possible. Over the past year, we've worked diligently to streamline our operations, whether it's speeding up response times, enhancing appointment scheduling, or making paperwork less cumbersome. Every improvement has been driven by one question: how can we make this simpler for you? One of the ways that we have done this is by integrating new technology that automates many of our administrative tasks. By removing bottlenecks, our advisors can spend less time on paperwork and more time on what matters most: understanding your needs and helping you achieve your financial goals. Personalization is at the heart of what we do, and it starts long before meeting with your advisor. Our operational team has worked hard to develop systems that ensure your experience is tailored specifically to you. From securely gathering information about your preferences and financial goals to creating customized reports, we've put processes in place that allow us to provide personalized advice and proactive communication at every stage of your financial journey. For example, our internal systems alert us to important milestones in your life, whether it's a significant birthday, an upcoming retirement, or a family event you shared with us. This allows our team to reach out to you in meaningful ways and provide the resources and support that are most relevant to you at just the right time. We know that when questions or challenges arise, you need answers quickly. That's why we focused on creating an efficient, well-organized back office that allows us to be highly responsive. From cross-training our team members to implementing collaborative tools, we've built an environment where information flows seamlessly between departments, ensuring that no matter who you speak with, they have the full picture of your financial plan. This behind-the-scenes efficiency means you receive timely responses, proactive solutions, and consistent communication, all of which are key to building the trust that's at the core of our relationship with you. At Cornerstone, you aren't just working with one advisor, you're working with an entire team of professionals who bring over 140 years of combined experience to the table. This collaborative experience means that every decision we make for you is thoroughly vetted and thoroughly considered. Our operations ensure that collaboration happens smoothly, with regular team meetings, shared insights, and the latest data at our fingertips, so we can provide you with the best possible advice. Our commitment to client-first practices means that every member of our team, whether front-facing or behind the scenes, understands their work directly impacts your experience and financial well-being. We believe that our role goes beyond managing assets. It's about creating an environment where you feel supported, understood, and excited for what's next. As we head into 2025, my promise to you is that we will continue to innovate, refine, and enhance our operational practices, all to serve you better. We'll keep asking ourselves, how can we improve, simplify, and personalize our processes so that you can focus on pursuing the dreams that matter most to you? Thank you for trusting us with your financial journey. We are committed to delivering excellence at every turn, and I'm excited for what lies ahead.
At the heart of Cornerstone's success is a visionary who has dedicated his life to empowering clients to reach their financial and personal aspirations. His relentless commitment to client-first practices and his ability to simplify the complex has brought us to where we are today. Please join me in welcoming Cornerstone's founder, Gordon Wollman, accompanied by his wife, Sheila. Next, I'd also like to take the time to recognize a very special group of individuals who hold a meaningful place in our Cornerstone family. Some of you have been with us for more than 20 years, entrusting us to guide you through life's financial journey. Others serve on our advisory board, sharing valuable insights that help us grow and improve. And some of you are client ambassadors, generously sharing your experience with others and helping us build extraordinary relationships. We are deeply grateful for the trust, wisdom, and partnership you bring to Cornerstone. Your support and dedication inspire us, and we couldn't do what we do without you. Join me in showing our appreciation for this incredible group. Please stand if you are a client of 20 years or more, if you are a member of our advisory board, and if you are a client who brought a guest tonight. Thank you all for being a part of our family. Now, I'd like to introduce Jill Mollner, Branch Operations Manager and Wealth Advisor. Jill's going to lay out our agenda and tell you a little bit about the Cornerstone team.
Good evening, everyone. As a part of our ongoing dedication to empowering you with knowledge, tonight's event is designed to provide actionable insight that you can apply to your financial journey. We're packing a lot of information tonight, so here's a quick agenda. I'm going to provide an overview of the Cornerstone team structure and the benefits of having an advisory team working with you. Jory is going to provide a brief market update. And then the main event is a guest speaker. We're thrilled to have Jessica Rice with Raymond James. Jessica works on the front line of cybersecurity and is going to share not only information about the tools and processes that Raymond James utilizes to keep your information private and secure, but how you can enhance your online security. And then Sarah is going to wrap up the evening sharing some Cornerstone happenings that you don't want to miss. At Cornerstone, we guide families to dream, build, and leave their lives in legacy. We help you plan for all the unexpected moments, whether they're good or bad. And every year, our leadership team meets and evaluates how Cornerstone can better plan for unexpected moments for us. Life is unpredictable. At any time, any one of us in this room is going to become unavailable at some time for many different circumstances. So whether you're sick or you have family commitments, time off or travel, whatever it might be. So although we keep very detailed notes, we feel it's important to have a relationship and contact with multiple team members. We want every client of Cornerstone to have at least 2 advisors that are comfortable with you, your accounts, and your financial plan. So you may have heard or seen that there was a Super Bowl that was played just a couple days ago. I personally have ties to SDSU. My husband and I both graduated from SDSU, and we joke that we bleed blue. So although I didn't have my team playing in the Super Bowl, we were personally rooting for the Eagles. You may or may not know that there is a guy on the team, Dallas Goddard, who was an SDSU alumni. He's also a native of Britain, South Dakota, which is where Jory resonates from as well. And so we were excited that the Eagles won. I lost my voice, not because I was screaming at the Super Bowl so much. I really don't know why. So I'm struggling tonight a little bit. But anyway, since the big game was just a couple days ago, it really got me thinking about how important it is to have a team of players and coaches to a football team, and how everyone has a very important role. So having a financial advisor team set up is kind of like having a starting quarterback and a solid backup quarterback on your football team. So you can think of the starting quarterback as your primary advisor. They're the ones that's leading the offense, they're calling the plays, driving the team forward. But if they get injured or get sick, go on vacation, your dual advisor is ready to step in without missing a beat. They've studied the playbook and know the strategy and can keep the team moving forward. You may or may not have had a joint meeting with your financial advisor team so far, but know that this is a focus for us this year going forward. But we have a whole team here at Cornerstone, not just financial advisors, and we all have roles and work together. Sorry, I forgot my one job of doing the clicker. Debbie was really concerned about the clicker, and then I forgot about it. But we all have different roles on the team, but we work together. So similar to why a head coach of a football team has offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators and special team coaches and running back coaches and a host of other coaches. The head coach is that primary advisor who oversees the big picture and sets the strategy. But your offensive coordinator, you can think of them like the client relationship managers. So the Shannons and the Shelbys and Riley, if you haven't met Riley, she's the newest addition to the client service team. They specialize with different plays and make sure that the plan is executed flawlessly. So together we work in sync to adapt to challenges and maximize opportunities. So speaking of the Cornerstone team, hopefully you all saw the announcement a few weeks ago, but Cornerstone Financial Solutions has once again been named to the 2025 Forbes America's Best in State Wealth Management Teams list. These accolades underscore our laser-like focus on improvement. We believe that you don't have to settle for the status quo, and you can be confident you're working with an experienced, educated team driven to enhance services year after year. You can trust that we're always striving to evolve to meet your ever-changing needs and bringing our best to you.
Hello, everybody. Is this a good volume? Okay. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Jory Flanery. I'm an associate advisor here with Cornerstone. Been on the team for about 2 years now. Did the internship, and so full-time I've been just about 2 years. So if we haven't met, if you want to come up at the end of the event, meet me, feel free. Jill brought up a great analogy kind of about the dual advisor platform. It's kind of like having a solid backup quarterback. And unfortunately, as a diehard Vikings fan, I know a thing or two about having a good backup quarterback. Our season did not end the way we'd like to see it end, but at least the Eagles took the win. And like she mentioned, Dallas Goddard from Britain, so I can support him. Now, for those of you who have been to these events before, you know that usually one of the advisors on the advisory team kind of takes things over, and I'm kind of acting as a backup as tonight. Andrew had some other commitments, so I'm stepping in and kind of taking the role as a backup quarterback tonight. So being it is my first time leading this market update, I hope none of you throw any flags or food. I don't want any food being thrown up here either. So let's kick things off into the market update. Recently, I just about did forget the clicker. Recently, our investment committee met, and I'll share some insights and some updates on some of the things that we talked about. So Cornerstone Investment Committee recently convened, and we assessed the economic landscape and the market outlook as we move forward into 2025. While there's optimism surrounding the U.S. policy, economic growth, earnings, consumer and business confidence, we remain mindful of potential risks, including the possibility of a Fed-induced recession if monetary policy tightens too aggressively. Some economic outlooks and key scenarios. So a best case scenario would be strong consumer spending, steady job growth, fiscal stimulus, and initiatives from the Inflation Reduction Act and the CHIPS Act, and continued investments in AI and other transformative sectors such as AI. Worst case scenario would be a recession triggered by excessive Fed tightening, leading to reduced consumer and business spending, and some of the inflationary and disinflationary factors associated with it. Disinflation could persist due to lower energy prices, retail discounts, and stronger dollar, and a declining shelter costs. However, tariffs, that's kind of been big in the news lately. That could be an inflationary wild card that we'll kind of keep an eye on. So something to look forward to with some interest rate outlooks. We could look for either declining interest rates moving forward, just depending on how things roll out, or potentially interest rates staying flat for longer or rising. So if interest rates are declining, that will be driven by slow economic growth, easing inflation, and a more accommodative Fed. Or if the rates rise, that'll be due to tariff-driven inflation, stronger than expected growth, or an increase in government spending. Looking into some political and policy developments, just looking into some trade policy. As you all know, or if you've been seeing some of the trade headline or the tariff headlines out there, President Trump has been kind of implementing and trying to talk about some of the things, just putting tariffs with China, Mexico, and Canada. So we're kind of keep an eye on things there to see if it's more of a trading tool or if he's going to implement some of these tariffs. Looking at the debt limit, that's expected to be a key focus kind of further into 2025 as we go along. And that just is going to require some bipartisan negotiations. So hopefully they can come up with some agreements on that. And deregulation efforts could enhance cybersecurity and overall government efficiency. With tax policy, there's a possible extension of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act with provisions benefiting lower income households, such as the potential to eliminate tax on tips and maybe overtime. So we'll see if anything kind of rolls out with that. And then as far as market volatility and global concerns, looking into commodities and inflation a little bit, continued volatility in the oil and key resources like copper, lithium, and uranium, and then just along with the interest rate concerns, there's just been a little bit of persistent inflation, so that could keep interest rates higher for longer. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. And then as far as global markets go, there's just uncertainty kind of remaining in China and the Eurozone, emerging markets, Japan and the UK, and this just reinforces the importance of a diversified, risk-aware approach. And one thing to kind of note about the Cornerstone Investment Committee is we take an independent approach on things, whereas other firms, they might kind of rely on some models and some things that their broker-dealer pushes through. We kind of take an independent portfolio evaluation, so we're continuously reviewing things every quarter, and we meet on a weekly basis as well to cover some of that, just to refine the portfolios and ensure high-quality investments. And also, we include some partners like T. Rowe Price, Vanguard, just to kind of have some experts within the field kind of give their opinion, and then we kind of make the final decisions from there. So diving into Q4 of 2024, hopefully y'all can see the screen a little bit. On the chart there, you can see overall the S&P, or the overall U.S. large cap markets in the United States, did really, really well. So it shows in 2024, things ended right at about 25%. Dow Jones did about 11.5%. NASDAQ did really well at almost 30%. So really good year last year. Hopefully things can kind of keep trending that way for 2025, but we'll have to see on that. Some other key things that kind of happened in 2024 Headline inflation accelerated to 2.7% year over year, marking the second consecutive month of increase. As we all know, Donald Trump won the U.S. presidential election, and Republicans gained control of both the House and the Senate. And for the Fed balance sheet, that fell below 7 trillion to 6.9 trillion, which is the lowest level since May of 2020. The US dollar posted the best quarterly gain since the first quarter of 2015, which reaches the highest level since November of 2022. And gold declined for the first time in 5 quarters, but it had the best annual performance since 2024, or I take that back, since 2020 or since 2010. But gold has continued to perform very well in 2025. Kind of taking a look here too, for investors, 2024 was a year full of surprises, defying many predictions that were made by economists and strategists at this time last year. Notably, the S&P 500 achieved remarkable gains, closing over 25%, which far exceeded Wall Street analysts' forecasts. This marks one of the strongest annual performances in the last quarter century. So as we reflect back on 2024 and we move forward farther into 2025, there's much for investors to be optimistic about. We've potentially witnessed one of the best 2-year returns for U.S. stocks in history. The last time the S&P 500 posted back-to-back annual gains of over 25% was back in 1998. Hopefully this chart is kind of easy to see. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but this just kind of illustrates the returns delivered by various asset classes over time. So as shown, each asset class reacts differently to economic and financial developments, and diversifying across different asset classes just helps investors hedge against all the uncertainties that are out there. For a group of assets to be considered an asset class, it should exhibit low correlation with other asset classes. So in other words, one asset class may thrive during periods of higher inflation, while others might not do so well. It's important that more asset allocation and diversification do not guarantee profit or protect against loss. But as you can see, kind of in the darker blue, or I guess it's the lighter blue there, where it shows a blended portfolio with the red outline, you can see it kind of trends towards the top of that graph there. That's kind of a blend of 45% of the S&P 500, 15% of international stocks, and 40% of the Bloomberg Aggregate Bond Index. Got another chart with a lot of blue on there. But this just shows another way to diversify investment assets by selecting different styles of investments. So the boxes illustrated here classify indices in terms of capitalization. So we've got large cap, mid cap, and small cap. So large companies, medium-sized companies, and small companies. And then there's also value and growth. So in general, the smaller the stock, the more volatile it tends to be. So it could go up, 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 or it could also drop, drop, drop. So they're pretty dang volatile. And value investing generally involves buying stocks that appear underpriced based on the fundamental analysis. And so such securities are typically shares in public companies that trade at a discount to book value. They have pretty good dividend payouts, have low price to earning multiples, and are consistent over time. And kind of blending these securities it's used to form the foundation of a portfolio. This is the last graph with all of the colors, I promise. So this one shows the S&P 500 sector returns that offer another example of how different assets react to different circumstances. This table specifically illustrates how different sectors within one asset class, stocks, respond differently to the same set of conditions. So the S&P, or the Standard & Poor's, employs 11 primary sectors, which includes consumer discretionary, consumer staples, energy, financials, real estate, communication services, healthcare, industrials, information technology, materials, and utilities. So you can see here the aggregate performance by the S&P 500, which is a diverse index, consists primarily of leading companies from a wide variety of different economic sectors. And because the index is weighted by market cap, the largest companies have the greatest impact on the index. Looking here, in December, the Fed lowered its overnight policy rate by 25 basis points. This was a third cut in an easing cycle, and Jerome Powell signaled that a slower pace of easing is ahead and projects maybe a couple of decreases on the table, but that's subject to change just kind of based on some data that comes in. So after the initial rate cut in September, Treasury yields rose, which was the opposite of the historical pattern seen at the start of other easing cycles in history. And while the Fed cut rates 100 basis points, which equals about 1%, since September, the 10-year Treasury yield climbed 100 basis points to a 7-month high of 4.58%. And this was sparked by stronger economic growth, concerns about inflationary policies, and more deficit spending in the year ahead. In the fourth quarter, the dollar soared by 7.7%, marking its best quarterly performance since the first quarter of 2015. The fourth quarter surge was driven by Trump's America First policies, fewer anticipated Fed cuts, and rising real rates, leading to gains versus every other major developed market peer, such as the euro and the yen. Looking here, this shows the U.S. Consumer Price Index, and it shows that inflation ticked up in December on the back of higher energy and food prices. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reported on January 15th. So the Bureau's Consumer Price Index is an inflation gauge, and it rose 2.9% during the month versus the prior year. That's up from a 2.7% annual inflation rate in November and up from a recent low of 2.4% in September. The Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, measures how quickly prices rise or fall for a basket of goods and services, from anything from haircuts to coffee, etc. CPI inflation has declined significantly from its pandemic era of a 9.1% in June of 2022. However, it remains above the Federal Reserve's target of 2%, and the central bank aims for that over the long term. This graph kind of shows, it may be a little bit blurry, but you can kind of see here that there were some trouble spots in December. What's that? Oh, eggs. Yeah, I'll touch on that. Grocery store prices increased 0.3% from November to December, according to the CPI data. A rise of about 2% a month is consistent with hitting the Fed's target, says The Economist. And an outbreak of the bird flu in the U.S. is what has caused a significant impact on egg prices. The virus is highly contagious among birds and it's killed millions of egg-laying chickens, which reduces the egg supply, so then the prices go up. Egg prices jumped about 3.2% from November to December, which was the largest increase for any grocery store item. And then they're up about 37% since December 2023, and they might be up even more since then. Looking further ahead into 2025, the question on everyone's mind is, what's next? Will the trends we saw in 2024 continue, or will new opportunities and risks emerge? Let's explore the key factors and forecasts shaping the year to come. And looking at the world's major economies, America's role as a chief driver and global growth figures to expand even further. With the U.S. labor markets healthy, profit growth solid, and a business investment picking up, the International Monetary Fund raised its 2025 forecast for the U.S. economy to grow 2.2%, and that projection offsets downward revisions from other advanced economies, including the largest economies in Europe. The Federal Reserve has largely accomplished its goal for inflation. Inflation was easing for a little bit, kind of ticked up recently a little bit, but the next step is just kind of fine-tuning interest rates to keep the economy even keel as best they can. The Capital Group portfolio manager says the Fed will no longer be at center stage, but the markets will shift their focus to economic growth, corporate earnings, and changing political and regulatory landscape. President Trump's policies priority, he has tax cuts, tariffs, and deregulation, and this might be supportive of the U.S. economy and help its growth and risk assets. This could also lead to a stronger dollar, higher inflation, and elevated interest rates. All that said, we could see elevated volatility in interest rates and financial markets broadly as investors evaluate the direction of the policy. Looking here, I know Gordon in the past has talked a little bit about AI, and as he kind of likes AI, and there's tons of AI throughout the world, the country, everything. It's been expanding. As you can see here, AI is used heavily in healthcare, data security, transportation, and I mean education, financial services. It's everywhere. So if you haven't had a chance to see AI, I encourage you to go look up some YouTube videos or something to kind of see how it's pretty dang cool. Few topics generated as much interest in 2024 as the US elections. While factors related to the business cycle often matter more to the markets than political outcomes, we knew how important it was to provide our clients with timely insights about how post-election policy shifts around taxes, trade, and regulation, for example, might affect the economic landscape and their investment portfolios. We'll be watching closely as the new administration begins working and continues implementing all of the policies that they want to implement. And you might have heard a statement similar to the markets hate uncertainty. But if there has been ever been a period of definite certainty, I'd like to hear about it. But as we close the book on 2024 and peer further into 2025, perhaps the uncertainties this time are of a magnitude beyond the norm. President Donald Trump campaigned on a platform of lower taxes and less stringent regulations seen as growth positives, but also higher tariffs on imported goods and mass deportations of illegal immigrants seen generally as stagflationary, at least initially. And stagflation is a situation with high inflation, low economic growth, and high unemployment. So these cross currents and the uncertainties they are breeding make it difficult for stakeholders, both domestic and international, to plan for the future. And this potentially creates an environment of caution and concern across policy areas. Add to this a Federal Reserve operating in a data dependency mode, and we have a backdrop of reactionary market behavior and policy decisions. The good news is the past 2 decades have brought more sustainable and resilient growth in the domestic economy and a more self-sufficiency in terms of food and energy production, lessening the reliance on trade. And this has led to the higher U.S. returns on U.S. capital and in turn ample capital inflows along with a strong U.S. dollar. So as you can see, the markets continue to present both opportunities and challenges, making it crucial to stay disciplined and adaptable. Up next, I want to introduce our next speaker, Jessica Rice. Jessica serves.
My name is Sarah Misek. I am the experienced team manager here at Cornerstone. I've been with Cornerstone for about 3 years. And I thought I'd share a fun fact since Jill mentioned football earlier, that I am a diehard Nebraska football fan and a USF Cougar football fan. And if we're going to talk about NFL, I will say I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And I'll stand by it even though they lost. To wrap up this evening, I just want to share a few upcoming events with you all. So some exciting news that you can all put on your calendars is our client appreciation event coming up in June. In Sioux Falls, it'll be on June 3rd at Great Shots again, and June 5th in Huron at Putters and Scoops. We'll also be kicking off our diaper drive again this year, so if you want to get ready for that, I thought I'd let you know. More details to come, but again, the dates are June 3rd in Sioux Falls and June 5th in Huron. Before you leave, there are yellow sheets on all of your tables that are just an evaluation of what you thought about the event. And we would love and appreciate your feedback. And if you give us something good, maybe we'll talk about it next time. So if you want to do that, that would be great. As your wealth management team, we go beyond just numbers to help you stay informed and confident in your financial journey. That's why we do more than just provide mailings to you. Our YouTube page has over 30 videos covering topics that matter most to you. Our website is also packed with informative blogs and tools, and we share these on Facebook. So if you haven't already, you can follow us on there. We're always looking for new ways to better serve you. One common challenge we've heard is how difficult it is to find a trusted, affordable CPA for simple tax returns. So to meet this need, we've partnered with a CPA, Lisa Holmes, who supports us in developing strategies for our clients' portfolios. And Lisa is actually here with us. So if you want to stand, just so we have a face, and you can give her a round of applause. So as a Cornerstone client, you have access to all of her tax return services at a discounted rate of $58.50 per hour. And if you'd like assistance with your tax return, you can contact her directly at 712-400-9530, which is in one of these referral partner brochures that we have out in the hallway. So if you want to grab one of those, if you're interested, or you can talk to her while she's here. So we're excited to share that all with you. We hope it provides you with access to professional tax support that aligns with the financial strategies we've designed for you. Another service that we offer is our weekly market update, kind of like what Jory gave you, but this is weekly and it goes out via email. And if you haven't signed up for it, you can do that with the barcode or just let one of our team members know. It's just a summary of the key events affecting the financial markets over the past week. Now, I would like to thank our guests that are here with us tonight, and the clients that brought them along. Bringing guests to an event is an amazing opportunity for us to share our value with the people that you care about most. So if there's someone that you know that could benefit from our services, you can fill out one of the cards on your tables also to encourage them to reach out to us. But if you do fill it out, we just send a letter to let them know you suggested that we connect with them, and we'll send them a mailing with some information about Cornerstone, and we respect their decision on whether they choose to engage with us or not. With that being said, for our guests in attendance this evening, we would love for you to become a part of the Cornerstone community. If you would like to sign up for a complimentary no obligation consultation, you can scan the barcode here. If that is something you're interested in, you can let our team members know also. And that is all that I have for everyone. So I just want to thank you all for coming, and we appreciate you being here with us tonight, and get home safely. Thank you.